These are so
All right. We're live now. Let's see if we can do this crazy live stream here. So hello everyone. So if you can see us, if you can hear us, please say something in the chat. Yes, I'm here with. Let me just kind of take these things out of my face here, right? So, okay. So let me just check if everything is okay before I actually get started, right? So how about that? And it looks like everything is going well. So if you are watching us from YouTube, I'd like to thank Java, the Java Users Society in Brazil, to be streaming this. If you're watching this on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, right? Say a quick hello in the chat so we can know that you're there, right? So we can work with you. So I'm here with my amazing friend Heather Vancura. Hi Heather, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm amazing. How are you?
That's good. That's good. So we are here in New York City, where we met here for the JCP, the Java Community Process, 25-year anniversary, right? So how about this, right? And
brand new shirt, hot off the presses.
Hot off the press. That's so good, right? And you know, Heather, what I think is most amazing? Because we can tell everyone that we came to New York to launch our book in New York.
Coincidentally, it didn't even. We had no part in planning that date, but that's how it worked out.
Right.
They told us it would be ready this day, and we happened to be together, which hasn't happened since last year.
Right. Exactly.
Years, so.
Exactly. So you see here, I see Rafael Benavides right there. Hey, Rafael, how you doing? He says, hey, Heather. Hey, Bruno. Hey, Rafael, good to see you here. Danielle is also here, right? And he's saying, great to see you both. Awesome. Right. So we're going to have some conversation here today about the developer career, right? So good to see you. So Heather, there's two topics we can talk about here today, right? Okay. One is the book launch, right? Because we launched our book today. So let's talk about this. But how about we talk a little bit about JCP first?
Okay.
Right? Because the JCP just happened. It was an amazing meeting. We had all the members of the executive committee there, right?
Right.
And so tell us a little bit about the JCP.
Okay, well, yes, we just had our second face-to-face meeting of 2023, and Rafael's on the live stream. He was with us at our first one in Singapore.
So. Oh, that's Rafael Benavides. It's a different Rafael.
Oh, Rafael. Right. Okay, different one. Okay. Oh, right. I haven't seen you in so long. All right. Nice to see you. So second face-to-face of the year. We did it in New York City. BNY Mellon hosted us. They have great offices here. Spectacular views. So we took the opportunity to celebrate that the JCP is turning 25 years old this year, and to conduct our face-to-face meeting with the executive committee. And we had a full day of meetings. Lots of great presentations. I got some amazing feedback from people talking about wow, what were we talking about? We talked about Project Lighten. We talked about all the things we're doing around the celebration of the anniversary of the JCP. We talked about the launch of Java 21 coming up next week. We talked about securing the platform and integrity of the platform, which was a really interesting discussion that will, start off many more discussions to come. And we
Java education.
We talked about Java and education, shared about some of the materials that the working group and the executive committee has produced, and some of the meetings that we've had with some universities and some professors over the last year. And we also heard from BNY Mellon. They shared about some of the leadership that they're doing in the Java community and in the financial space as well. So it's great that we have them on the executive committee to share, their unique challenges and uses as a consumer of the technology. And also, as a leader, they have lots of people in their organization that are community leaders and people that are, actively growing their own careers as a result of participating in the community and in the JCP specifically. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, right? Yeah. And we had a good conversation. One of the things that I found most amazing was the conversation with George Saab, right? Where he's talking about the next steps, right? So now that we have, it's unbelievable. It's been 5 years since Java moved to a 6-month release cadence. I don't believe that's, it's like how time flies, right?
Right.
So 5 years, so that's been 10 releases.
10 Java releases every 6 months. Yeah,
Yes.
so we took the opportunity, George did a retrospective and thanked the community for all their support, and showed there was skepticism at first, but we were able to not only modify the JCP and its governance, but everyone who works and contributes to Java. And now we need to look at how we're going to help the whole ecosystem to really embrace this idea, that the new development model and the release cadence, so we can have the entire ecosystem of applications and libraries available.
Yeah.
Maybe not immediately at first. Next, like for instance, we have the launch of 21 next Tuesday. What if there weren't any dependencies for people who want to migrate their applications to Java 21? What if the whole ecosystem was immediately available on Java 21?
Right.
So what can we do to accelerate that process, to make the Java community and ecosystem even more successful than it is today?
Yeah, that would be an amazing thing. And if you right now they're watching this, if your company does not have at least 2 releases of your software every year, right? Maybe you should be looking at that, right? So it was very successful for Java, and Java is like, I don't know, 10 million people, developers using
over 10 million,
over 10 million developers using over the world. There's a number. It's like 60 billion Java VMs, right? Like some crazy number like this. So if Java can do like 2 big releases a year, right? So maybe that's something that you should be looking at in your company. So that's the discussion we're gonna have in the next years, and it just started this year. I was totally blown out by that, because I think that's a very, very important discussion to have. All right, so let me just say a quick hello for other people here. Say Carlos, right? So Carlos is saying, hello from Montreal, waiting for you to receive my book. Right? So let's talk about the book in a minute.
Okay.
Hayani is here. Hi from Brazil. Hey, Hayani, how are you doing? And Andres is from Lima, Peru. I mean, he's from Uruguayan, but in Lima, he's living in Lima. So hey, Andres, so good to see you here. Awesome.
And Carlos too. Yeah, nice to see you again.
Right. Okay, cool. So lots of people here watching us, and it looks like they're looking for the book. So you guys are participating on the very, very first live stream about the release of the book, right? So the book has launched today. Actually, let me put it on the screen here, so whoever doesn't know what I'm talking about here.
So at least, like, what book?
Right, what book?
Okay,
right?
we wrote a book.
Yes, right.
It's available today.
Yeah. So here is the book, right? So the Developer Career Master Plan. It's available today. If you pre-order, there's lots of people sending me messages that they pre-ordered the book. If you pre-order the book, it means that you already have it on your Kindle, right, since midnight tonight. And if you pre-order a physical book, it means that Amazon is going to ship it to you today, right? So you're not going to receive it today, right? But Amazon's going to ship today. So the book is available. Anyone can go there and acquire and get immediately if you're doing a Kindle version. So the price is right there on the screens for the Kindle version. And so Heather, is that your first book?
Well, it's the first book that I've authored. So I've contributed to 2 other books in the last few years. So this is, the first book where I really understood what is the process involved in putting together an entire book versus, one part of a book. So that has been really interesting and exciting to do. Definitely, it was a lot of work, but also it's gratifying. So to be able to just share the knowledge and the stories of all the developers that I've worked, not all the developers, but kind of some of the developers that I was able to include in the book. And Bruno was able to include some of the stories that people shared with him as well. So that's gratifying to see that we brought it all together. So to me, that means that we can scale and help more people to grow their careers, rather than only the people that we each individually have a chance to meet and interact with. And these days, we're meeting people face to face much less often, right?
Right,
So
yes,
that's to me, that was the motivation to write the book and to publish the book, because it's something that people have approached me about many, many times over the years. Would you write a book? Would you write this book? Would you write that book? And I said, I really just don't have any time. I'm out there talking to developers and online or whatever capacity. But in 2020, when everything slowed down, I decided that was the time.
Cool. That's awesome. So for me, it's also, that is my first published book, right? So
Okay.
I also participated in lots of different books. I wrote chapters for different books. I've wrote forewords for many books, and I self-published several books.
Yeah.
Right. But that was the first time that I was working with a publisher to really get a book published. Impact Publishing was really instrumental for doing this. Right. They really got their process. In a way, we had to work with their process, right? So it's a little complicated for me to get over with that. But it was really extremely interesting experience. And I'll tell this, that was not going to be possible without Heather, right? No way. Now that I've done, I self-publish books, and I follow whatever process I had, right?
Yeah.
But working with Pact. Working with this process, I'm not a very, how do I say, I'm not sure what's the word you use. It's not really organized. Structure. Thank you.
It's structure. Yeah.
I'm not a very structured guy, and kind of following a very structured process was really hard for me. But Heather was here on my side all the time, and she made sure that I followed the process, and we got the book done, right? So we had interviews with amazing people. We have a full master plan, right? 15 steps that can really get your career going. They can really get your career moving. So I think that's, the book has a lot of material. But at the same time, Heather, we put a lot of material there. But at the same time, we put only the material that was needed. Right? There's not a lot of blah, blah, blah.
No,
right?
Yeah, we stuck to the points and conveying the information. And it was challenging to get started too, because it's really almost like a new category of book, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a career book for technical professionals, for developers, software engineers. So that was kind of just interesting to really massage the process that existed for like a pure technical coding book, and create instead something unique, which is a technical careers book for people who want to grow their career and advance in their careers. So it didn't always fit the model, and so we had to be flexible, and we also had to stay within certain parameters. So that was interesting. And coincidentally, we had that conversation before Pact approached us about writing the book, right? So we had talked about the fact that you had self-published a book, and we said we wanted to write this book, and it would be a career book, and it would be sharing stories. And so, and then coincidentally, like I think a couple months later, they reached out to me and asked me to write a book about a particular topic, and I said, and I'm not interested in writing that book, but go talk to these people if you're interested in some of those books. And I referred some other people that I know, some other developers that I've worked with, and I said, but if you want me to write a book, this is the book I want to write, and I want Bruno to be the co-author. And so that's what started us on the process, on the path.
Yeah, that was awesome, because, with someone like Heather on board, right? And so you see Pact approaching her. Look, it's not very common, guys. When the publisher approaches you, they come with a preconceived idea, and they want a specific topic because they did research. They see there's a topic like this, and it's not very common that the publisher comes to you and you say, I want to write a different book. And they say, yeah, go ahead, just write a different book, right? So, so I think that the combination of Heather and me on this book, right? So they saw the possibilities. And not only that, I agree with you because, Pact said, okay, yes, it's a career book. So it's going to be a book for juniors, right? And we said, no, it's not a book for juniors, right? It's a book for, juniors can benefit from that for sure. But it's a book for seniors, right? Because we want to help developers to go beyond, right? And, reach the highest level of their careers, right? So wherever you are in your career right now, if you're just starting, you're going to have lots of results from this book. But I personally think that if you're already a professional developer, if you are a senior developer, this book is really going to shine for you, right? Because the reason on this book is that the steps that are there are steps focused on helping you, that you're already a developer, you're already a professional, you're already in the market, you're already making a good amount of money, to really do the next step, right? To make more money, to work more interesting projects, to gain a reputation and have a visibility. So this book is amazing for people that already have lots of years in the career, right? So, and I think that's why you're saying it's a different level book, right? Because it's really for a different audience.
Right, because most career books are just more general career books. So this is very specific, based on the experiences that Bruno and I have both had working with developers all over the world, and seeing, where they have success, where their career kind of hits that inflection point or trajectory where it starts to go up, and putting that into a structure. So I think our ideas kind of changed as we went along and tried to think about how will we structure the book. So we decided on 3 parts to the book, and then outlining the 15 different chapters, which became the steps in the master plan. That was exciting to see it all come together, because I don't think I could have articulated all the steps before I knew I wanted to write a book. And I know I've seen lots of developers exceed and advance and really, thrive in their careers. But could I articulate the steps, in advance, just if you had asked me on the spot? No, not until we wrote the book. So it was a learning process as well, to kind of synthesize it together in a way that you could simply take the book and follow the steps and see the results.
Yeah, that's awesome, right? So let me just see more hellos here. I see Drabo, right?
Constantine,
so yes,
Constantine from Burkina Faso.
Yes, right. So hey, Drabo, how you doing? Right. So good to see you here, man. And then Lukao is saying hello from Angola, right? So hey. Lukao, good to see you here. Now Jonathan has a very important question, and it's right on cue, right? He's asking, when is the book coming out, right? So Heather, when is the book coming out?
Today. It's here today. Today is the day. That's why we're here sharing with you that you can get the book today.
Right, exactly, right. So let me put the book again here, right? So the book came out today, guys. So it's available today, and we're very excited about this. We're here directly from New York, right? Me and Heather, we're here in New York to have a launch of the book, right? If we had some physical books to sign it, would be amazing, right?
I wish I haven't even seen the book yet. It's literally just released.
It's just released, right?
And they're shipping the books to us at the same time as they're shipping them to you. If you order it, you'll receive it essentially at the same time as us.
Actually, you're going to receive first than I will, right? Because my book, I'm in Brazil. So if you are in Brazil, unfortunately, Amazon is not going to ship the physical book to Brazil unless you buy in the US and then pay some extra, right? So I'm not getting the book for a little bit, right? Because PAC's going to have to do special shipping for me. So you might get the book way before I do, if you are if you're in the US, in Europe, or in Canada or UK, right? So if you're in those places, the book's being shipped right now. And so so it's just a really quick thing here about the book itself, right? About the shipping and all that. So if you are in another country, if you are in Brazil, for example, many people are messaging me from Brazil saying, but can I get the physical book? You can if you buy on the US store, for example, have it shipped. It's a little bit more expensive, but it looks like eventually, right? I'm not sure how long it takes, but after the first sales, then eventually the book's going to show up in Amazon too. So it takes a little bit. So that's a possibility, but you can get the Kindle version right now, and it's going to be awesome and great, right? So, okay. So here, guys, what I want to do right now is, I want to have a chance that you ask us some questions, right? So the book has 15 chapters, 15 steps, right? And, Tiago, right, say, this guy, awesome, right? Tiago is saying, I already have a book. I got the Kindle version, I already have it. So thanks a lot, Tiago. That's so awesome, man. So take a picture, put on social media, right? So we can do the same. Now, Tiago's interviewing the book. Tiago Bonfim.
Oh, that's a different Tiago?
It's a different,
yeah.
So I think Tiago was interviewed for the book, right? So thanks, Tiago. I think if it's the right Tiago, right? That's good, right? Carlos says, book very recommended. to all levels, right? To grow as a developed professional. Yes, it's focused on professionals, right? So, but Heather, I got a message this morning from Felipe Yanaga, right? He's the son of Edson Yanaga,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So, and he got the book this morning, right? I mean, actually last night, right? So I saw his message this morning. So, and Felipe is just at university, right? He's just starting. So do you think the book's also going to be helpful for people just starting?
Well, definitely for people first starting or in university, because what I've learned working with students, especially over the last few years, I've engaged more with students than I have in the past as a result of starting that Job and Education initiative back in 2020. And it's really surprising to me how little students understand about the reality of what it's like to work in industry. And that has been some of the most helpful feedback for them, is to understand what's going to be expected of them once they have their first job. And so not only are they going to be coding, but there's so many other different aspects of their job responsibilities that will involve so many other skills and activities and they have no visibility into that in most of the learning environments. With the students that I've talked to, they have this perception that all they need to know is how to code, and that's all they're going to be doing, when in reality they're going to be spending less than 50% of their time writing code, and they definitely won't be doing it alone. So definitely helpful for students or people in getting their first job, or people who've been in the industry for a while, even for a decade. A lot of times, you don't understand what it's going to take to kind of get you off of that inertia and start moving your career forward. So incorporating some of the things we talk about in the book will definitely get you started.
That's very cool. So one of the things that we're just having discussion in the JCP yesterday was Ken Fogel was visiting some universities, and he was talking to one particular university that they had like 7 development courses, and just one of them in the advanced moment, right? They would teach testing, for example, right?
Yeah, I was with Ken in that meeting.
Oh, you were
two
with
of us.
Ken. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, cool. I think that's for students they're starting, right? They have this kind of problems in universities where the university is not giving them all the big picture and everything. The book does not talk about technical things, right? That's the important thing. The book, but the book is going to give you as a student, right, some how to learn the right way, how to connect with people, how to gain visibility, so you can actually have access to those things, even if you don't learn that in university.
And how to learn the right things, how to pick the right things, and some different tips on trainings and certifications, those kind of things. And yeah, actually, as a result of meeting with that professor, the one that you mentioned, Concordia, they decided they needed to incorporate some industry seminars to give their students some access to this kind of knowledge. So that was definitely rewarding to see when they heard, oh yeah, the students wouldn't know this information from the courses that we're teaching, and we didn't know that we had access to these kind of people working in the industry that would be able to share their experiences and some of the things that they might need to know, and what it's going to be like for them when they're getting started in their first role.
Okay, that's so cool. All right, so let's go from the beginners to the other end, right? So Scott Rishan is here, and he says, right, when you're too old to advance your technical career, and you should find a different path. Right?
When are you too old? And I say you're never too old.
Exactly. So Scott was a technical reviewer in our book, right? So he did review some chapters for us. So thanks a lot, Scott. And and I think I agree with you, Heather. I don't think you're ever too old, right?
Right. And I think even these days, I've read a bunch of articles just in the last couple of weeks giving examples of people, entrepreneurs, business owners, who start new businesses in their 40s and 50s and beyond, right? Like, it's been happening in the past, but there's always this perception that you can only start something when you're young, and that's not the case. Right. You're never too old to start something new, and that actually will keep you young. So the more you learn and grow and keep your mindset in that capacity of a growth mindset, the more that you're going to be able to achieve and accomplish in your career and in your life.
Right. That's cool. And so I totally agree with Heather, right? So I think it changes, right? So, and I think that's one of the things that we talk a lot about in the book, because it gets to a moment where where our technical career changes, right? It's still a technical career. I'm still doing a lot of technical things. Heather still does a lot of technical things. It's still a technical career, still involved in technical areas and all that. But sometimes we have different goals, right? And so Heather mentioned here about building your own company, for example. You might want to impact people in a different way, in the ways that you really want to do. And I think that Scott is actually doing a good work, right? Because Scott has a program to help developers, with testing, for example, right? So Scott helps developers with testing and other things like this, right? So legacy code and how to get really good in a project when you just start the project, right? So then you start changing how you help people, how you impact the world. And I think there's a lot of new opportunities, Scott, when you're I don't think you're ever too old, but I think when you're older and wiser and you have more experience and you have gone through many things in your life and your career, then you have a different perspective that lots of people are needing right now. Okay, so some other questions here, right? So yeah, so oh man, all things. Yeah, because I had to. All things dev, right? All things dev say, already have the access to the book review packed subscription. That's awesome. All things dev. So that's great, man. So that's right. You just download the book right now because you don't even have to buy it, right? So how about this? That's great. And so for everyone that does not have a packed subscription, right? Let me just put the book again here. So if you don't have a packed subscription, you can just go to the Amazon account right now and get the book. It's actually already discount on Amazon, right? Amazon is crazy, right? Because it's already discount, right? So that's the discount price that I saw. And so this link goes to the US store, right? So if you are in a different country, you might need to choose a different store and maybe search for the book on your store, or just change the URL in the beginning, right, to your country's place. That should work. All right, so let me go over to some more questions here. So I think there's a question here a little bit more for me. It says, how does it compare to your other books, right? To your best developer year? Is it complementary, deeper? So thanks a lot, Rodrigo. Yes, this book is complementary for the best developer year, right? So the best developer year is a way for you to think about your own career, right? So it helps. Actually, the best developer year is a book of questions, right? It's not a book of suggestions. A book of questions that is going to help you think about yourself, help you think about your strengths, your weakness, and how you can grow in your career. But the Developer Career Master Plan will give you a plan, right? So once you go to the best developer year and you know what you want, right? The Developer Career Master Plan will give you the steps for you to get there, right? So it is deeper, it is complementary, it is the next step for the best developer year, I think, right? Because it's more practical. And with all of that, it also has a lot of contribution from Heather, right? So, so we wrote this book together. So it has a completely different perspective from Heather's point of view, because she has a different and complementary experience from me in her career, right? So, so that book it's way more complete than anything I wrote before.
All right. I've read parts of that book. So yeah, right. That's a question for you.
Right. Okay. So then Jonathan says, did this experience make you think about writing other things? Right. So what do you think, Heather?
I definitely had ideas for other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe more general than this is, like I said, very specific to developers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know lots of other people. I work with lots of other people who aren't coding
Mm-hmm.
every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're working in the field, and so they approached me too about sharing some of their stories and their experiences, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe some different steps that would apply to them.
Right.
So I've definitely heard from people about that. What about you?
Yeah. So first of all, I think there's lots of other topics, right? There are things that we want to write that were not in the book. Right.
That's true. Yeah. We had to stay to the plan. That was part of the process.
Right.
Was you write the outline in advance, very detailed outline, breaking down each chapter, and then you fill in the content as you proceed. So yeah, we did think of some things along the way that didn't really fit in
Yes. There's one thing I want to say, Heather, because the book has 15 chapters, right? We actually had a 16th chapter on our outline. And for some reason, in the middle of the whole process, PAC stopped talking about it. They did not want us to do, I mean, they didn't insist, right? It was not on their outline, it was on our outline. And so I'm not even going to say what the 16th chapter is, right? I'm going to save it because there is a next step, right? That is not in the book. And I was definitely going to save for another book, right? You know, it's just going to be just too much. So it was actually good that we took that out. But we actually didn't take it out; it just kind of fell on the sideways. And so, yes, Jonathan, I think that we had some other ideas for books. And you know, look, there's one book that I think we can mention that one. There is one book that I think should be written, right? And I don't see anyone else better than Heather to write this book. There is this story of Java, right? You know, Heather has been, you know, with all her years in the JCP, she has been right in the center of the whole Java history, right? You know, so the whole Java story. And so I think that, you know, Heather knows the people, knows what happened. You know, she was there the whole time, right? She was really involved. So I think that at some point we should write a little bit about that story. And, you know, some other people already told me this. Oh, Bruno, you've been with Java for so long, right? Maybe you should write about that. And then do more interviews and talk about this thing. So that is an idea there. It's always on my mind, but maybe can decide.
I think that we brainstormed about that initially too before we zeroed in on this topic. We did talk about that a little bit.
Right.
So there's always that.
Yes, there's
so
always
many
that.
different things we could write about.
Right. Okay. So John says, I'm really excited to start reading this one and the next ones too. Awesome. So you know, if for everyone here, if you don't have it yet, the book is out today, right? So here's the link one more time. The book's out today. You can just go and if you do a Kindle version, you can download it. Now, there's one interesting thing, guys. If you do buy the physical book, right? PACT has a policy of including the digital book with the physical book, right? So if you buy the physical book, once you get it, there is a link on the book for you, so you can download the Kindle book. I'm not sure if you download the Kindle book or a PDF version. I would have to check that, but PACT has this policy of giving you also the digital version of the book, right? So if you decide to go on the physical book, you're actually going to have access to both of them.
Oh, nice.
All right. So guys, you know, we're not going to stay here for too long because Heather has a flight to catch. And so, you know, that's our last day here in New York. But if you have any more questions about your career, about things that you're doing, things that you want to do, come on, send us right now so we can get it. So Drabo says, how to get sign-ins, my hardcover, right? Okay. By both authors. That is hard, right?
I mean, it will probably be next year, the next time we're together again.
Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
You bring the book with you. The next time we're together, maybe next summer, fall. We've been talking about organizing next face-to-face.
Are you gonna be in Devox, Belgium?
I'm not gonna be there.
You're not gonna be there.
Not
okay.
this year.
Yeah,
again.
It's not clear to me that I'm gonna be there either. So still negotiating that. Okay. All right. Cool. So next time. I might be in San Francisco in December.
Okay. Well, I'll be there.
You be there?
I'll be there.
Okay, so
I live there.
All right, so here's the thing. It looks like I will be coming for I'm not gonna say what it is, but it looks like I'm gonna be coming to an event in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Later this year.
Okay.
Right. So, you know, I'm negotiating with this company to actually be there with them. So if I do, I'll extend my trip to San Francisco so we can order some books.
Okay.
And then we can do a signing in San Francisco. How about that?
In December. Okay.
In December.
Okay.
Is that good?
Okay, it's good. It works for me.
All right.
And in the meantime, you know, you can share what you think about the book in social media so we can see, and you can post reviews on Amazon as well. I'd like to see some reviews there.
Cool. Yes. You know, if you can review the book, right, and be honest review, right? So if you like it, didn't like, that's all good, right? So we'd love to see that, right? Drabo says in December then, right? In San Francisco. So Drabo, if you come in December in San Francisco, then you're gonna get a book, right? Okay, a signed book. There's Rodrigo says he's gonna be in DevOps. Awesome, Rodrigo. So I might be there. It was almost 100% sure that I was gonna be there, but then some things happened yesterday, actually, right? So it's not so clear anymore.
Okay.
But I'll still working on this. Now Scott says, "Thank you guys. This is gonna help a lot of. This was a lot of work, and will help a lot of people in their careers. So thanks a lot, Scott. So that's the idea. The idea is to help lots of people in their career.
Definitely, right? That's why we wrote the book.
Right. Yes. Okay. Cool. So I don't see any more questions, guys, from you. So if you have any, you can send me an email or you can message me. You're watching this on one of my social media accounts, right? So you can just message me on LinkedIn, message me on Twitter, message me on Facebook, whatever you're watching this on YouTube. You can put a comment below on YouTube. That's great. Or you can message Heather. So how do they find you, Heather?
Same in email, LinkedIn, Twitter.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can also, and so now there are some questions that I got, before people, doing this last week, or as I was promoting the book. And one of the questions was, someone said, "I'm already a senior developer, right? And I make good amount of money. I think my career is going well, right? And should I buy the book?" So what do you think for a senior developer that thinks the career is going well? Is there anything for them to?
Well, you can always make it go even better, right? So when your career is going well, I mean, your life is enriched, right? So you can add these different elements to your career, and you can be even more rewarded in the enjoyment and the joy that you get out of your work, right? You spend so much time of your life working, so you want to make it as enjoyable as possible. And not only that, but in the book we talk about making an impact, right? So what's your legacy going to be? How are you going to impact other people, and how can you help them to grow? And in turn, that's a cycle that helps you to grow and establishes you as a leader in your community, in your company, in the ecosystem at large. So definitely, I think from the context you gave me of the question, I would say yes, that person should read the book, and I think they would be able to get some benefits out of it.
Yeah, totally agree with that, right? So, totally agree with that. That's it. The book is not, actually the idea of the book is to grow to senior level and beyond, right? So the whole objective of the book is for you to create a master plan for your whole career in a way that you can increase impact, in a way that you can, have a more fulfilling career, and that does not stop with senior. I actually would like to say that starts with a senior level, right? Because once you reach that senior level, you have the knowledge, you have the skills, right? You're ready to do a huge leap forward in your career, and the book is about that, right? It's about doing this leap. It works well for someone that's not a senior yet to actually reach senior level, but for you that you're senior level, that you're happy with your career, the book is written for you, right? For you to do this next leap, to do the next level, and I really think you're gonna enjoy a lot. And there's a question about exactly that, right? So Alcibiades says, "Isn't technical knowledge enough to become a senior?"
Well, I think that's the whole hypothesis for this book, is that that's a myth. So no, I'm sorry to say that it's not enough. I would say, that's the bare minimum. So that's what you need to have to survive. But if you want to thrive, you need to follow the things that we talk about in the book. I mean, that's the whole message of the book. So we're talking to you about all the other things that you need to do besides have that technical knowledge, and all the other things that are going to be required from you, and the things that your management is going to look for when they're trying to pick who's going to work on the best projects, the high priority projects, and receive the promotions or receive that new job offer. So it's going to go to the people who are doing these things in addition to having that core technical knowledge.
Right. I love that Heather just said that, it's the other things, right? Because I'm going to tell you a story. One of my claims of fame is that I can say that I opened for Iron Maiden a couple of times in my life, right?
Okay.
The reason for that is because I was on the stage when Bruce Dickinson, the vocal, the lead singer of Iron Maiden, was in Brazil in Campus Party, right? So and so I was the guy that was on stage before him, inviting the audience and introducing him on stage, right? So that's and so Bruce Dickinson has this amazing presentation where he talks about being an entrepreneur, right? And there's one thing that he says that I think is very important for our discussion here right now, because he says that the difference between a normal musician, right, and a rock star musician, it's not the music. He says both have to have the music to be musicians, right? And Bruce Dickinson says that the difference is the rest, right? Is the other things the rock star musician does that the normal musicians do not. And that's what all his talks about, right? Is this next level, right? And that is the same thing I'm going to say to you also, Bia, is the difference between a normal developer and let's say I'm going to call a rock star developer just because Ed Burns, that wrote the foreword of our book, wrote a book, The Secrets of Rockstar Development, right? So the rockstar developer is the guy that does the other things, right? It's not only the technical part, does the other things. So our book is focused on the other things, right? It's focused on the things that are going to put you in a different level. It's going to put you in a different situation in your career. So that's exactly what the book's all about, okay? And then we have Baslu, right? So Baslu was one of the interviewed in our book. Hey, Baslu, how good to have you here, man. So he's saying, congratulations, both of you, right? Congratulations to you too, man, because you're part of our book.
Yeah.
Right? So that's great. So Baslu, you should be receiving a book also, man, because you're part of the book. You're interviewed in the book. That's so good. All right. So I don't see any more questions here. I just see people. I'm going to put the QR code one more time. So if you want the book, right, it's out now. It's available. So if you pre-order the book, if you got one of my promotion emails during this week and you pre-order the book, you have it on your Kindle right now. If not, you can just get the book right now. It's totally available. The book is out. No waiting anymore. Just do it. Okay?
All right. Well, congratulations. We've done it.
Yes, we've done it.
So now we just want to see what people are thinking of the book. So
Right.
Thanks for joining us and asking your questions.
Yes. Thank you. So Heather, congratulations.
Same to
Right?
you.
It's good. Right? Congratulations for the book. And let's see if we can do a signing on December.
In December, we'll keep you posted.
All right, everyone. It's good to be here with you. Right? If you're part of the people that pre-ordered the book, I'm gonna send you some emails. Thanks so much. If you're part of the book, right, Baslu and Scott and other people here in the call, right? So if you're part of the book, thank you so much for being part of the book, for telling your story, for helping us out. Write this. If you're, and everyone from PACT, thanks so much. But especially, thank you, Heather. Right? The book is not going to be done without you. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. See you all. Thanks a lot.